This movie is called Donald Darko, and I'm called Nathan. I like movies, and I say good words, so I can explain it. This one. Movie starts up in the mountains above Los Angeles, right where legendary YouTube boxers go camping while training for Creator Clash 3. Don is laying in the street. It's almost sunshine time, so he wakes up. Guy lives in the road. He rides his bike down the mountain back to 80s civilization. Movie isn't saying any words yet, but it's now saying the sounds of In Excess, the 80s band. Specifically the song Never Tear Us Apart. Good song. Movie goes from slow motion to regular motion a bunch. Looks cool. Cool movie. He walks into his house and his refrigerator tells him, hey, where the heck is Don? Right here. Duh. Lay off, fridge. Next, we see the whole Don family eating meal at night. Mom, dad, little sister, and big sister, who is Don's actual sister. Actual Don is Jake Gyllenhaal, and her is Maggie Gyllenhaal. Maggie starts off the pleasant family convo with politics. She's voting for the Democrat Dukakis in the 88 presidential gauntlet. Then Don is like, Mom and Dad should pay for you to take pills instead of me. And Mags is like, that would make sense since you stopped taking your brain candy anyway. Then teens say wild compilation of swears. Then parents are like, geez, the 80s are wild. Then it's later and Mom is like, hey, Donald, where have you been at night? And Don is like, go away, my brain hurts because you filled it with pills. Then Don stuffs more pills in his brain. This dude is the ideal image for mopey alternative teens in the early 2000s. He's got the mental issues everyone in Hot Topic wished they had. But since their lives weren't so bad and they all got GameCubes and Game Boy Advance from their middle-class parents, they had to act twisted and troubled to appear unique and mysterious. So when Don here showed up, they now had the perfect archetype to mimic. Then it's later and Dad is watching the President Gauntlet till he starts chugging Z's. A spooky voice tells Don to get up and that he's been watching him.
I've been watching you.
Don starts walking around while under asleep. He walks outside and there's a sir in a demented rabbit suit standing in the street. Bun Bun says 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds is when the world says bye-bye. By the way, call me Frank. Then the house goes boom. Everything is rocking and rolling, and we're all over here like, what? Why? Why is sound to end shake for? Then Don wakes up on a golf course with Bun Bun's 28 days later message on his arm. Yuppies are like, Darko, you're bizarre. And Darko is like, yeah, and you're golfers. Not one to talk. Don strolls home and he sees there's a gathering of commotion at his house. Crane is lifting a plane engine out of the roof. Small sister says a plane got castrated and it fell on your room, Don. FAA says family gotta go. Family lives in hotel till further notice. Big IRL sister says nobody knows where the plane engine came from. Tears for Fears plays and we see Seth Rogen help another teen smell drugs. Then what? No way. It turns out that this is the third part of the Eat trilogy. Puny Drew Barrymore, who then grew up into not-so-puny Drew Barrymore in Scream, must have split into another dimension after she got murdered in Scream. Now she's even more not puny. She lived and grew long and strong red hair and is now a teacher at High School 88. Drew Barrymore tells the new girl in class she should sit in the seat near the dude she thinks is the cutest, and she picks the one next to Donald. Romance is inevitable. Dad and Don are driving home when they almost do car murder to the medicine dude from Princess Bride, Miracle Max. Max is an old lady named Roberta Sparrow. She opens up the mailbox. No social security check this week. Then she whispers to Don, every living creature on Earth dies alone. Then she kicks rocks. Don visits his therapist and he's like, so there's a cracked out rabbit who told me that the world is gonna end, but I definitely don't believe him. Nope, don't worry about it. Ha ha, that guy's so dumb. Brain lady is like, uh-oh, it's nighttime. Rabbit is in Don's eyeball again and we see vaporwave screensavers. Don is up to his nighttime naughties again. The next morning, children tell children the school is closed to children today. Maintenance man tells the principal the water main is busted and whizzing everywhere. Who knows when it will stop? Plus, there's an axe stuck in the mascot statue that's made out of bronze. How in the world is that possible? Graffiti says they made me do it. What a mysterious crime. Seth Rogen and Rat Stash creep on the new girl. The new girl and Donathan walk home together. She's like, FYI, I'm kinda unhinged. I'm in the witness protection program because my dad is brain insane and stabbed my mom. Then Don is like, cool, I have insanity as well. They're both like, hubba hubba, a match made in live journal heaven. 18 seconds later, after meeting each other, Don is like, wanna be my girlfriend? And she's like, what? Okay. Whatever, Sharp. That was easy. Brain Lady then puts Don in hypnotism. He spills his guts and is like, I'm real horny. Then starts to do lonely games, and Doc is like, yikes, session over. That didn't go as planned. Don and dudes are shooting BB guns when they see the most beautiful vehicle in the known universe, the 1985 Dodge Caravan with wood paneling. Check these babies out. Got my own original minivan posters framed on my walls because I'm a man of quality and taste. Hey, can you blame me? I got desires like any man. These kids don't know how lucky they are to see such a beautiful box brumming down the street. They don't even appreciate the beauty of the Beepo. A shame. It must have been because they were distracted by Miracle Max almost getting run down again, checking her mail. Still no check. Dudes are like, Grandma Death checks that mailbox every day, and it's forever empty. Oh wait, she's going in for seconds. Maybe the mail snuck in when she wasn't looking. Nope, still just a lonely tin hole. Don snacks on some RX and old Bun is like, sup boo, time to party. Let's touch force field and do whatever we want. Don is like, Bun, why did you make me flood the school? And Rabid Roger Rabbit is like, they're all in danger. Do you believe in time travel? Then Lil Sis is like, Don, your brain has become banana bread. And he's like, leave me alone, I'm emo. Uptight, religiously motivated, and personal opinion pusher teacher makes kids watch Brainwash from Patrick Swayze. She's like, okay, teens, you all gotta be positive. Come up here and tell me if things are positive or negative. Then Don is like, this whole thing is BS. Because there's more than 2 degrees of emotion. Then he tells her to stick Patrick Swayze's book into her butthole. Don gets spanked on the wrist from principal. Then Don is like, hey, young and cool science teacher and doctor from the television show ER. I got some questions about time travel. And ER is like, now you're speaking my language. ER tells him that wormholes can teleport metal things like airplane jet engines to and from different dimensions and times. Then teaches like, want to see something super illegal? It's a forbidden book about time travel written by a geezer lady who used to teach here, named Roberta Sparrow. That's the mailbox lady. Don is like, I know her. That's Grandma Death. Oh, by the way, gulp. Later, Don and a pile of dads are watching Tackle Fest when Don starts seeing jelly trails of people's future path of travel. Dude is tripping gargantuan. Or he's seeing the truth. You be the judge. Don's belly goo leads him to the closet containing a gun. Goo has led him down a dark path. Girlfriend is like, you got blood on your neck. You've been getting hickied by another alternatine? And he's like, no, I'd like to enjoy mouth mating with you. Parents visit Brain Lady. They want to know how crazy their kid is. Kid is like, Mom and Dad, if you wanted to know, you should have just stayed home and watched me party with Frank. Don and Frank are molesting the ether, tickling invisible force fields. Doc says Donald is paranoid schizo and needs more pills. Don says, die Frank, and stabs his rabbit eye with knife. But force field says, nice try. Then we see ARG stuff, codes and waves. Maybe movie is saying surf the web? I don't know, ARGs are confusing. Then Don and girlfriend Gretchen mash down on some Outrun. Classic game, good choice. Patrick Swayze then tells the whole high school that they need to be straight edge and stop boozing and boning. If you want to change your life and learn what you want to do, then just use love. Then My Chemical Romance is like, nah dude, you're saying vague nothingness just to sell your book. Then Don gives actual advice on how to take action and change one's miserable existence, and crowd loves him. Then he does his troubled youth thing and calls the dirty dancer the Antichrist. Crowd goes wild. Principal is defiled. Don and Gretch are stooping it in the field, and Don is like, check out this book on how to time travel through time. It talks about all the ARG stuff I'm seeing in my head. Girlfriend says, gulp. They then go visit the Princess Died. Get it? Instead of bride. Alright, anyway. When at Grandma's mailbox, Spooky Frank Bun voice tells him to send her a letter.
Send her a letter.
Don then finds Patrick Swayze's wallet in front of his house. Bun is like,
Now you know where he lives.
Don tells Brain Lady about the psychic jelly tubes that come out of everyone's chest. He told her that he followed his own jelly roll and it went into his parents' room. She's like, what did you find? And he's like, definitely not a gun, so don't ask that. Later in school, teen lovers pitched their science class their invention of baby sunglasses that show peaceful images to babies to help form cool memories. Then Seth Rogen says, hey, remember when your dad put knife into your mom? She then says sadness all over the front steps. Seconds later, she says love all over his lips. Their first kiss in troubled times. True emos. That night they go to my favorite movie theater in Santa Monica, located right next to the library on Montana Boulevard where I uploaded my very first YouTube videos almost 20 years ago. Frank shows up and is like, hey, you ate all the raisinets. Don says you can't eat snacks with your dumb mask on. So Frank takes off the mask, and we see his eye has been stabbed out by Don's dagger. Then the blind bunny shows him a portal, and Don gets more ARG flashes than Frank says,
Burn it to the ground.
Don then goes hood up into troublemaker mode. Meanwhile, at the talent show, kids do mediocre displays of skill. Swayze announces that a bunch of little girls, also known as Sparkle Motion, are about to do a random arrangement of movements, and the whole place loses their goddamn minds. While the town is busy with subpar entertainment, Don is busy with his own pyro show. He burns Swayze's house to the ground. Firefighters find he's secretly super evil. Bad images of kids are found in his house. Off to jail he goes. Obnoxious religious teacher can't simp over dirty dancer no more. Oops, I was wrong. Delusional brainwashed people can't jump ship that easily. She starts a defense campaign for her orange-tanned leader. The semi-coordinated young girls are about to go on the Ed McMahon TV show to do their crappy dance, but she cannot chaperone them. She must bail on Sparkle Motion to be at the pervert's court trial. This lady is tapped. She asks Don's mom if she will escort the children to Hollywood. Mom says, yeah, sure, just get off my step, lady. Principal fires Gru Barrymore for her new age teaching techniques. Gru is ticked. Mom leaves for the dance battle, and Don gives Mom a rare hug. Gru packs her bags and heads for the unemployment office. Don says, sorry you got fired. Drew says, can't win them all. By the way, cellar door is the most beautiful word ever. Okay, movie. Then Don tells the often bullied special needs girl that someday everything will be good for her. She's like, leave me alone, goth boy. Don tells Brain Mechanic that he flooded the school and burned the perv mansion. Frank made me do it. I got a lot to get done before the world ends. She's like, well, that's nice. Good job doing your chores. By the way, your pills aren't medicine. They're just water. Stop taking them because they don't do anything. Big sis gets into Harvard, and Don is like, we gotta have a party while the rents are out. Girlfriend comes over and says her mom is gone. Murder dad may have found her. Dark times fuel emotions for the dark teens, and they do the dirty deed. Mom and kids are on their way home in the sky. Hope the plane's engine stays where it belongs. Don follows his psychic umbilical cord to Freaky Frank. Time is running out, says Don. Fellow teens have confusion. 80s movie trope commence. Teens on bikes on Halloween night. They ride to Grandma Death's house and use the cellar door. Oh, Gru Barrymore dropping clues for old Don. In the geezer's basement, they find Seth Rogen with a big knife. Bullies try to murder lovers, but Carr scares them off. Geezer appears and Carr swerves into girlfriend. Girlfriend sleeps forever. Uh-oh, it was Frank driving the car. Wait, Frank is a real dude? Bye-bye, Frank. Donnie does bullets to his life, and now he joins girlfriend in the forever dream. Princess Bride tells him to hurry up because the storm is coming. Don kisses sis bye-bye, takes dead lover to the mountains as a portal opens over his house. Mom and Sparkles are about to land home when suddenly the engine falls off of the plane and through the time portal. The movie rewinds and does ARG confusion images, and Donnie lays down in his bed and acts all One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The movie ends as it did not begin. Engine takes a nap with Dawn, and neither of them wake up. We see all the other characters are still alive and unaffected. Basically, movie never happened, because Donald chugged Engine for breakfast. Girlfriend, who never was, then rolls up and is like, hey, mother-in-law of negative fruition. Good morning. And Mom is like, what's up? They wave at each other despite the immensely unusual and morbid situation they currently occupy. The end. What the heck? That was more of a mind F than demo, man. What does it mean? How would I even begin to figure this out? Okay, well, I guess if I just looked at it objectively, I'd assume the movie is saying, in the beginning of the film, when Donnie doesn't die from the engine because he was talking to Frank, who is also known as a manipulated dead, that moment caused the tangent universe to split off from the prime universe that he was living in. Now, living Don is in a parallel dimension. Frank brought him here to go through all these quantum mechanic trials and tribulations. These are taught to him by former science teacher and experienced time traveler, Miss Sparrow. In order to learn, he too can see time portals and manipulate time himself. And while he's here in this dimension, he gets a girlfriend who is also manipulated dead. But unfortunately, her mother goes missing, and then she dies. Then Don burns down a pervert's house, and his cool teacher gets fired.
Basically, lots of bad stuff happens in this tangent universe, so he better shut it down. Now having this portal knowledge and time travel skills, Don opens a portal and goes through it, just to wind up back in the beginning of the movie, in his bed where he dies, exactly where he would have been if Frank just left him alone in the first place, therefore proving that Frank brought us on a pointless journey, and Frank should have just stayed at home. Great, good job, Frank.
Or something like that. I don't know. Well, that's that, I guess. Thanks for watching. Hey, tell me your favorite movies from between the years 2000 and 2005. I'm gonna do those next. Okay, bye-bye.